On ESPN, presented by Warrior. We're in Boston, where the Cannons are making their homecoming, taking on the Philadelphia Waterdogs as we wrap up the first half of the season and look toward the All-Star break. The Boom Squad making their way to the field as we take a look at the PLL standings. As we wrap up the first half, the Cannons in it in the Eastern Conference, just behind the Atlas. Waterdogs, meanwhile, at just 1-3, but coming off their first win of the season last week. Paul Carcaterra and Chris Cotter with you. So when you think about homecoming, these teams play 2 games at home. So Boston being here at home, they're playing their second game. They played last night. Ticketmaster.
This is a close defense that leads the league in caused turnovers. The physicality of Garrett Epple reigns supreme. The midfield, Matt Campbell came into the weekend in Boston as the lead point producer from the midfield. He is having a breakout sophomore campaign. And then on attack, Asher Nolting is such a compliment to Marcus Holman. He just uses his body, Cotter, and just wins the one-on-one matchups with physicality.
Well, as we saw in the standings, the Waterdogs are just 1-3 on the year. They are coming off their first win of the year. Their 3 losses were all by 1 goal, so very close. And they got Jack Hanna back last week, and that was a big bonus for them.
This is a 1-3 team, Cotter, that I actually think could win a PLL championship. You look at their defense, the best word that describes them is length. These guys can cover, and they are rangy. At the midfield, Connor Kelly could stretch a defense. Zach Currier is the ultimate chameleon as a midfielder. And on attack, Kieran McCardle is like fine wine. He is better with age. Ethan Walker's got to get that lefty shooting stroke going.
Dogs lineup powered by Ticketmaster. There's Bill Tierney, legendary lacrosse coach. Won 7 national titles at the college level, 6 with Princeton, 1 at Denver. Now he's at the PLL level. A year after taking a year off after retiring. Got his team, as we mentioned, their first win of the year last week. And Brian Holman had a 3-game winning streak snapped last night. But as his son Marcus said, it's good to play 24 hours later, Carc. You can forget about it, put the loss behind you, and get that good feeling again heading into the All-Star break.
I love the model with the PLL. It's tour-based with the host city, and in this case, Boston, playing the doubleheader, giving these fans back-to-back nights of incredible lacrosse.
Alex Stathakis didn't play the last time these 2 teams met. Let's not forget, these 2 teams met very recently. It was a Cannons win 12-11 on the 15th of June, so it's the second time this year they've met.
And Zach Tucci, the face-off specialist for the Cannons, was a star that day. He had 3 goals, 1 was a 2-pointer, including the game winner.
Right, and Stathakis didn't even play in that game. He wasn't even a member of this team back then. They realized they needed to upgrade what they were doing at the face-off dot big time, so they brought in Stathakis. And speaking of big time, early Sowers puts the Dogs on the board.
He's got the best feet in the game. Michael Sowers is a one-on-one matchup nightmare, and he's going against Bryce Young, the lefty. You think that he has the coverage, but he doesn't close the gate at goal line extended. And watch how Sowers goes in and then he goes out. That is unbelievable recognition of where pressure is. So he takes the pressure and then he backsteps. So by taking that contact and then backstepping, it frees his hands up.
Sowers, who began his college career at Princeton, so he knows what it's like to play here on this campus before transferring to play his final year at Duke. Puts the Waterdogs on the board. Coming at you again. Pass inside, just wide.
I mean, it almost looks like he's on ice skates.
And Ryan Conrad inside couldn't quite squeeze it. Kieran McCardle now puts it in play.
Michael Sowers' feet are just at a completely different level.
Nice save. Colin Kurse making his first save of the day. Here come the Cannons, quickly. Kavanaugh shoots too high. Had a great look as Boston got into early offense. Here's Asher Nolting. All the way up to Chris Islanian. Now Campbell. Big shot from the outside, 20 in blue. Working on the shorty. Over to Islani, who could also fire from distance. Pass gets away, though, from Asher Nolting, and it'll be a turnover, an unforced error. From Asher Nolting, and it'll be a turnover, an unforced error. Sowers working on Bryce Young. Gets the pick, now he has the shorty on him.
This is trouble for the Cannons.
And it's an offensive midfielder. And Campbell. Up top, McCardle misses.
Campbell played an offensive shift and had a race back to guard Michael Sowers, and lucky for Matt Campbell, he's able to get the switch here. Back to Bryce Young, yes.
Sowers, very active early, has the pass inside. Shot whistled wide. That time it was Ethan Walker.
Yeah, they got to get him going. He's only shooting 14% on the season, and he's known to be like a 30% shooter that can stretch a defense. And when you have him hitting his shots with Sowers and McCardle, who both can create, you're going to get those step-down opportunities.
I've yet to mention Dylan Ward's name in goal for Philadelphia, the veteran Canadian. Has yet to be tested. Kavanaugh looking to change that. Trying his muscle his way GLE.
Well, that's good defense by Marcus Hudgens.
Shot saved by Ward. Kick save and a beauty. Stays with Cannons though. Here's Holman. He's got a short stick matchup. Nolting. Here's Verdaro. Shoots. Saved by Ward. Loose ball in front.
You see how wide Dylan Ward gets? Like, there's no net to look at. Verdaro sweeping across the top portion of the offensive arc. And I'm sitting here with an angle, and I'm asking myself, where do you shoot the ball? Because Ward's a big guy, but then he gets super wide with his base.
Right, got the sweats on, too,
yes.
So he even looks wider. Conrad looking to dodge on Bubba Fairman. Far side to Courier. Courier also missed the last time these two teams met in June.
Look away!
Kelly, not afraid to shoot from outside. Sowers now has his defender all hung up. Puts his shoulder into him. Scores! How did he get that by Colin Kirst? I thought Kirst had the near side pipe. He just snuck it past him.
You're not going to track this shot, Cotter, and the reason being is he shoots right out of the spin. So Kirst can't go stick on stick with this because he hits Raul right here and then he turns and shoots immediately. Most players, when you're above goal line extended, it takes an extra beat to get your shot off. Right there, he's using his body too.
It goes 5-hole and it deflects off Kirst's foot and in. That was quick.
This is a player who trains non-stop in the offseason with his feet and his stick, and I sat down with him earlier, week 1 up in Albany, and he told me his feet and his stick have to be together as one. So he trains his feet as much as he trains his stick. A lot of players go out there and they shoot and they train in the offseason. He is so particular with his footwork around goal line extended. It shouldn't be a shock when he hits those shots.
Strenner on the run. Try to get it to Islani. It's a bad pass. On the end line, it's going to go over to the Dogs. Going all the way back to last night's game, Kark, Boston is over 16 minutes now scoreless in game action.
Yeah, this is a team that led the league in so many critical offensive categories a season ago. Goals per game, shooting percentage, power play. You look at the last few weeks. When they played the Waterdogs a few weeks back, it was their face-off specialist, Zach Tucci, who was their leading scorer. Then last week in Minneapolis, it was the two-pointers that allowed them to have an offensive punch. And last night, quite frankly, they didn't get it done offensively.
Yeah, Holman was really their only offensive weapon last night with 4 goals. There's Hannah. Missed the last meeting with an injury. This is just his 2nd game of the year. Sowers. Good passing inside. Brandow Stone, though, by Kirst.
You know, as the ball starts heading down to the Cannons' offensive zone, you can see left side of your screen, the game flow save here. That's the pass, but it looks like a deflection. I don't even think Kirst got that. More touches for me for Asher Nolting. Your quarterback needs the ball behind. He needs to be a volume dodger, because when he dodges, he's got options. He beats you off the dribble. He can pass.
Good look. Holman, though, that shot deflects off the defender. And the official calls time on it, as they're going to check out Liam Burns. He took that one right off the kisser, I think. Burns will come over to get checked out. Rylan Reese will take his spot. So Burns is all right. Oh, he's got a cut on his eye. You see that? No, I might be mistaken on that one. Let's see when he takes his helmet off.
Yeah, that's right to the face mask area,
right
off of Marcus Holman's shot. Oh,
yes,
yeah,
he's got a cut on his eye. He's going to have to get that looked at. With these small rosters, too, 19 players dressed, Kark, you only have 5 pulls. The Waterdogs do. So with Burns out, not a whole. Ball loose right in front of the crease. As Connor Kirst tried to beat Ward. Now there's a huge scrum for it. Dangerous spot here. Officials are going to call in the crease against the Cannons.
But to my point here, on an offensive set like that, the ball should go behind Asher Nolting. When they were clicking on all cylinders, Nolting was leading the league in assists a season ago, and everyone benefits from his presence behind. The last few weeks, I just don't see enough touches for 32 in blue behind the cage orchestrating the offense.
McCardle. Going against Kirst. He's going to like that matchup. Shoots and scores.
This guy's something else. You think of his pro career and how good he's been in the late stages. He's been blowing up. He's one of the most consistent threats in the PLL. You've got Michael Sowers. Don't sleep on Kieran McCardle. He'll make you pay.
And Liam Burns is back in. Yeah, that's good to see. They had to change his helmet. I think that shot broke his helmet. That's how hard it was.
The medical staff for cleaning him up. Boston's got to figure it out, Cotter. Almost 24 minutes if you count last night. The carryover, scoreless. They've been outscored 7-0 in the last 24 minutes of lacrosse.
0 for 11 shooting during that stretch. Offensively, it has been a nightmare right now for Cannons. They got to break this run right here. Crowd not very happy. That ball stayed with the Waterdogs.
Right. You feel the home crowd when the
I
boo
love
birds
that. That's something we hadn't had the first couple of years here in the PLL that we're getting this year with the hometown crowds, and they're still piling in, by the way. This whole half of the stadium here, Harvard Stadium, is getting filled up with Cannon Blue, the Boom Squad.
Boston is a sports town. Cannon's one of the original 6 in the MLL. Some rabid lacrosse fans in New England. So excited to have the Boom Squad back.
Drenner getting it to Holman. The offense just seems out of sorts, Cart. Campbell, can he change things on the run? He does with his left hand.
This goal shows you how Matt Campbell is becoming such an experienced scoring threat. Watch at the last second, he switches back to his left hand. An antsy rookie would just shot that with his right hand. But he understands the angle increase and the patience. If he runs full speed, Cotter, he runs out of real estate and he has no angle. When he beats the defender, he then pauses, and that keeps his angle.
Breaks that long scoring drought for the Cannons. Finally puts them on the board. 25 minutes going back to the end of the third quarter last night. Rawl is a ground ball machine in the middle of the field. And the crowd here lets them know they appreciate it. Now a little momentum going to Boston's side, and the ball in Asher and Olting's cross. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Instead, he hits for Darrow coming out of the box. Behind a Holman, dangerous pass, but it's good. Holman in all kinds of trouble, picks up the GB, shoots and scores! Maybe not in all kinds of trouble. Maybe that's just the way he wrote it up.
All sorts of trouble, but that is actually the reason he gets this one off, because it looks like when he gets this ground ball, the Waterdogs exhale a little bit. They think, okay, Marcus is going to pull it out. He catches Dylan Ward and he just snipes this one. This is such a difficult shot. You're going against the grain. You have to shoot with your hips open. You lose your feet, but it shows you the strength of his core. Cannons fans love it.
They call it the Battery here at home at Harvard Stadium, and 25 minutes without a goal between last night and tonight, then 2 goals in 37 seconds. Tucci quick on the whistle, face-off violation, so Waterdogs possession.
So when you watch the Waterdogs, the ball's always going behind the cage to Sowers and McCardle, and it should. They combine for less than 3 turnovers a game for the two of them. They have 11 turnovers combined on the season. I mean, that's less than a lot of starting attackers in the league. I mean, you look at a guy like Nolte, he's a heavy volume guy. He's got 15 alone. That's not terrible, but it just shows you how efficient Sowers and McCardle are with the rock.
Sowers jumping the gun a little bit. Our official Buchanan over there, number 20 in yellow.
Watch the feet.
Oh, look at that quickness, got just enough space. And the pass inside! Gorgeous feed and finish by Kieran McCardle.
Michael Sowers demands the eyes of a defense because you have to support the matchup. He's also an elite passer. So watch here, you see the feet and the nice split dodge. And then McCardle knows when Sowers goes to the cage and he's in the inside, they're gonna have to support that matchup. So Eppel leaves McCardle all alone. Don't go anywhere. Keep your angle, stay above the crease area, and make it count.
Great catch by McCardle, too, on that goal. Both Sowers and McCardle representing Team USA in the World Championships last year in San Diego. So that tells you all you need to know when you talk about if you make Team USA, there's no question you are one of the best lacrosse players in the world.
And it's unbelievable, McCardle's relevance in the game and his star power late in his career. He's been better every year.
Just think about it. 2 years ago when the Waterdogs won the championship, that was his first championship in 10 years as a pro.
This is all you need to know about Kieran McCardle. His first 62 games as a pro, 0 5-point games. His last 45 games, he's got 10 5-point games.
That shot wide of the mark. And we'll get an inside the crease violation going against the Dogs. So one of the Kirst brothers, Colin Kirst in net, will track it down. His brother, Connor Kirst, is on the field right now for the Cannons. He wears number 34. He'll trot off. Final few few seconds of what has been a very entertaining first quarter of lacrosse. Drenner. Slide comes. Gets it to Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh puts his shoulder into the defender. Gets him just a little bit of space and misses. 16.5 remaining. Nolting. Back to his right. Ward with the save. One final chance for Campbell. Gets a better shot, shoots! Too high on the bouncer. Worked to get a better shot, just couldn't get enough on it to finish. We're through one quarter of play here in Boston. Hometown Cannons trailing by 2 to the Waterdogs. Coming up, former Cannon. Paul Rabel's going to join us in the booth. Talk about what it means to have the Cannons back here in Boston. Don't go anywhere.
The PLL on ESPN is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. Visit progressive.com.
There he is. Look at the sweet lid. The locks coming out of the back of the helmet. Paul Rabel back from his days as a Boston Cannon. The MVP award. $3,500. That's just like day's pay for you right now, isn't it?
Was that you bringing us in? Is that your voice calling
if
Progressive?
If it was me bringing us in, that would be a lot more than a day's pay for me. That guy has done ESPN voiceover work forever. Paul Rabel's in the booth with us here. I mean, a big smile on his face, obviously, because it has to make you feel good. Playing so many years here and seeing the great crowd support. I mean, this whole half of the stadium was full of Cannon fans. People wearing Boston jerseys.
It's different here at the Coliseum. I felt it. Actually, I checked into the Hyatt Regency. That was the same hotel I checked into 16 years ago as a rookie.
Yeah.
Stepped on this field, that red H, played in front of an amazing crowd. You never forget that type of stuff. And now that we're back, the same fans are back. And you see the sea of blue. It's pretty amazing.
What makes a Boston lacrosse fan maybe different?
Well, we were talking about before we came back on air, the two crowds that are the strongest this year, guaranteed, Boston Cannons fans and probably the Denver Outlaw fans who are in Denver. Because you've got, in both cases, close to 20 years of fandom. So these people know where to show up on a Saturday night in the summer.
One of the things,
they come to Harvard.
As we just saw even a few minutes ago in the first quarter of this game, the Boo Birds were out, and we said, man, that's something we haven't heard the first 3 or 4 years of this league. Fans that passionate about their team, not just their player, not just the best uniform they like, but their hometown team.
Well, they didn't reserve the section right behind the away team bench like they used to. We could count on them heckling the away team every home game. It was outstanding because then you could just focus on doing what you do.
Yeah, you get that in Boston, you get that in Philly, you get that in New York. What do you think the hardest thing for the Cannons playing this weekend in front of their home crowd?
Well, they feel the pressure. I mean, I could sense it last night. I can sense it tonight. Yeah. Mikey Sowers scores the first goal of the game. The crowd sort of exhales because they look at that.
Yeah.
They love this team. Dead quiet right now.
Yes.
It's awesome.
You know, and you think about the home teams in this home and home, where the homecoming, the home team plays 2 games a weekend, right?
Yeah.
After last night, they're 3-4, the overall record combined coming into this game. So there is a little bit of that pressure where the home field advantage maybe is a little more pressure than it is sometimes an advantage for the team.
See the head fake by Connor Kelly there? Watch how he drops his head here, Paul. Everyone, including Colin Kurse, thinks he's going low.
Oh, and
that is
the
a
upper
gorgeous.
90.
Yes, that's beautiful.
That is Connor Kelly at his best. A little rocker step in the low wing, coming around, hitching.
Yep.
Top shelf.
Great start by Philadelphia today after their win last week, the first win of the season. And Paul and I were talking about it before the start of the game. This is a different Philly team than we saw the first 3 weeks, even though those 3 losses were just by 1 goal.
Yeah, they're still +1 in the goal differential and having lost 3 games. But what we haven't talked about, 2 goals to this Boston Cannons team who can score. Last week, they won 10-6. This is awfully reminiscent of a Bill Tierney 90s Princeton team.
With the early slides.
Look at this defense.
Yes.
The hesitation, the fake slides. They're coming out, they're closing space. They're picking up dodging midfielders at the midfield.
Yep. It always starts inside out, too. You watch how inside presence they have defensively. When you have a goalie like Dylan Ward, you can gamble a little bit.
Bill Tierney is the architect of modern college defense, and he's going to be an architect of a team that gives up fewer than 10 goals on a regular basis in the pro ranks.
What was your advice to Bill Tierney, who won 7 national titles when he started 0-3 in the PLL?
I'm not giving Bill any advice. I saw him.
What if he asked you?
I saw him in the lobby in Minnesota, and he goes, "We're going to be fine." And if I'm playing for Bill Tierney and I got Michael Sowers on my team, by the way, this Mikey Sowers right here, he must have been watching Jeff Teat last night.
Yeah.
And he must have also watched Brennan O'Neill. The difference, Jeff Teat go gets the ball. We need Brennan O'Neill to go get the ball. Michael Sowers has been demanding it.
Michael Sowers, his blood boils for matchups like this, right? Like, if you contest Michael Sowers, he will go at you in a variety of ways. Everyone talks about Sowers' footwork and his quickness. How about his toughness around goal line extended? You're going to feel it every single time. You're going to end up on the turf when you score from that angle. But Michael Sowers is one of the toughest competitors I've been around. There's not a matchup he will shy away from.
Not a matchup that can, or not a defender that can really defend him. So he takes the ball in the net, he goes right, he goes left, he dishes. That goal to McCardle to close the first quarter was incredible. This is a guy who was an MVP candidate to start the year. They take 3 losses early. He's making up for it now.
This is what the Cannons will need to figure out. The Waterdogs are going after them in one-on-one matchups. 5 of the 6 goals are unassisted.
Yep.
They are owning the matchups tonight.
Hurst thought about letting it go from distance, and that's an unforced error right there. Now 2 in a row, both teams.
Tense when you're trailing 6-2 to a great defense, to a team that's winning the favorable draws right now in the Waterdogs. You're going to tighten up and make these unforced errors.
And the Cannons are really in a tough spot offensively. We mentioned how they went over 25 minutes without scoring between the entire fourth quarter of last night's game and the early part of this game before putting a couple of them on Cage and getting the better of Ward, but it's been tough sledding for them offensively.
There's a mentality in sports that's tricky when you want to do so well, and these guys have been looking forward to this weekend playing in front of these Boston Cannons fans. Tend to grip your stick a little tight. You worry, you give up some early goals, you slouch.
Michael Sowers looks like a different animal tonight than everyone else on this field. I think he's moving different than everyone. He's demanding the ball. We talked about it last night with the 8 touches of Brennan O'Neill. That's not going to happen with Michael Sowers.
No,
he'll get 8 touches in a quarter.
Like I said, Jeff Teat tied the points record before the All-Star break this season. He's got 44 on the year. I guarantee you Michael Sowers at some point in the locker room saw the Connor Fields highlight.
Yep.
This guy knows he's a top attackman in the world, and he's proving it through the first 2 quarters.
Yeah, the stardom in this league just fuels all of these players. If Jeff Teat can do it, Michael Sowers says, it's my night.
Coleman puts his defender on skates. Can't beat Ward, though.
Dylan Ward was fantastic last week. Unorthodox goalie, one of the best in the world, has been a 3-time team candidate goalie. He's tricky for an offense that's struggling to find goals right now.
Because of his high arc, right? He plays
comes
so
high,
far out.
He comes off the pipe. You don't really know what he's doing. He stands tall. Other times he dips.
Kick saves.
Inconsistency is his best asset.
Coach Tierney wants a timeout to talk things over, maybe have a word or two with the officials as well.
Watching that first game, what was your reaction to the Connor Fields goal?
Absurd. Absurd. We saw it last year, opening weekend in Albany, but he kept it righty low to low.
Yeah.
This year, he's
Changes
treated
levels.
us to bringing it top shelf. On the run, by the way, against a perennial top defender in the league in Matt Dunn. So he's basically making this field his canvas.
Sit back and enjoy the madness of Connor Fields.
That's artistry. You really only see that from a Kyrie Irving in the NBA. Or if you see a logo shot from Steph Curry, maybe a no-look pass from Pat Mahomes. That's the level of difficulty to pull that off in a game, which, by the way, the whips are coming back in. That's world-class play.
Another big picture, I think, issue when you talk about the league this year, and we've talked about it a lot this weekend, the rookies. Yeah. And obviously there's going to be a lot of pressure and a lot of talk about Brennan O'Neill, but how about the depth of this rookie class between TJ Malone and even in the last game, we must have seen 6 to 8 players that are rookies in the last game that were all performing at a very high level.
It's absurd. You know, one thing that I've been thinking about is when you have a college coach take over a program, and for me it was Dave Petramalo when I played at Johns Hopkins, they like to ask for 4 years to build a team of their own. They can recruit freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. We're entering year 6. These rookies, they were in high school.
Yeah.
They saw the PLL. They bear down. And we're seeing that commitment to be a pro show up. I think that's one of the many factors.
It's an amazing rookie class. We knew about Schellenberger and O'Neal and Pat Cavanaugh. It's the depth of this class that really stands out to me, because you have guys that are picked up in the 4th round. Guys like Tyler Carpenter for the Atlas. He was leading the league in ground balls, non-face-off player to do it. Yeah, so you have guys like him. Graham Bundy Jr. drops in the draft. TJ Malone was a 3rd-round pick for the Whipsnakes. He's their team's leading scorer.
One of my favorite shows of the year is our college draft night, where you guys get to debate for about 2.5 hours the talent and whether they will or not transition to the pro game.
Beautiful look and score. The offense continues to hum for the Waterdogs. McCardle once again.
One of the reasons why the Atlas are putting up record numbers is they have a 2-quarterback system. They have the 2 most prolific scorers after 5 weeks in the league in Connor Schellenberger and Jeff Teat. They have a 2-system quarterback here with the Philadelphia Waterdogs. McCardle's one of them and Sowers one of them. You could put them up front, you could put them behind the cage. There's nothing they can't do from 5 yards out and behind the cage when you're McCardle and Sowers.
One of the things I believe sports fans take for granted in lacrosse is McCardle's ability to score off of a 2 to 3 yard pass. What we see in, let's see this here. He had 2 twos in Pennsylvania 2 weeks ago. They're probably going to need a 2-pointer from Tucci tonight to close the gap. But what you see in soccer and basketball, what we're taught when we're younger, is you learn by getting close to each other and making passes. In lacrosse, make no mistake, a touch pass like that is really difficult to handle, and Kieran McCardle's making it look easy.
Nolting draws a lot of attention. Good look inside. Verdaro scores. Speaking of rookies, there's another one.
That's what you need if you're Brian Holman and the Cannons. You need the big guy to draw 2, get the ball out of his stick fast, backdoor cuts upfield, because that Philadelphia Waterdogs team is recovering lightning fast.
Paul, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by, my man.
Appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of the game.
7-3 the score. Phillies hot, coming off their first win of the year last week, but Verdaro keeping the Cannons close at home. Time to go under the helmet, powered by Cash App.
There we go, good job. Good possession, way to share it. I think I Campbell on that out. Okay, yeah, good job. Way to go, Campbell. Oh. I love it that way. Just how he drew it up.
Under the helmet, powered by Cash App. Marcus Holman, got to get this offense going. Like we said in the open of the show, he had 4 goals last night. He was the offensive star in their loss to the Woods, 9-7 last night. So only 7 goals last night, and now 3 through 1.5 quarters today. Somehow they've got to go on a little bit of a run. I'm not sure what it's going to be to turn things around for them. But it has been tough sailing for the Cannons here at home in terms of scoring goals.
Once again, I'll say it one more time. Asher Nolting does not have the ball in his stick enough behind the cage.
He'll get it here as Fairman's shot goes high.
Second in the league in assists coming into tonight's contest.
Ward with the save, gets it back.
And we talk about duos in the league, and McCardle and Sowers 4th and 5th in scoring. I just love how Kieran McCardle could play one way one week and then a completely different way the next week. Like, he wasn't scoring on top of the goalie last week and playing in front of the crease. This week he is. Like, he could literally morph into anything you want him to.
Courier trying to work on the shorty slide, comes and shuts the door. McCardle shoots wide, had a good look at it before Jake Pulver could close down the distance. That one wide. Only 3 seconds to shoot for the Waterdogs. Ball goes back over to the Cannons. Jake, what do you got for us?
During that last time out, offensive coordinator Jim Mitchell for the Boston Cannons. Kark, you mentioned that you were surprised that the ball wasn't in Asher Nolting's hands. That was actually their plan. They are expecting him to touch the ball a lot more going down the stretch here in the first half. Let's see if they can close this deficit.
It's like in basketball, if you were bringing the ball up and not allowing the offense to run through your point guard. And he is a multifaceted attackman where he can distribute. He's an elite passer, but he's also one of the better dodgers because of his physicality in the PLL.
Drenner here looking to dodge for Cannons. Campbell shot, saved by Ward.
That's where the high crease pays off. Do you see how he completely met that shot? All the way out.
Yeah.
By the circle.
Attacks the shot. Timeout called by the Cannons. We'll take a quick break. Top 2-point shooting team in the league with 0 2-point goals last night. The offensive struggles continue tonight. So here's Drenner. Aslanian scores.
Ryan Drenner can break a defender down, and because of his extensive background as an attackman at Towson in high school, he knows how to draw a slide. He's got the eyes and the quickness with his feet and his hands to get a pass off. You see the double, and Aslanian does an outstanding job of moving towards the ball. Catches it, turns, and finally they
Aslanian talking about the finer points of that goal he just scored. One of 3 sets of brothers on this team. Tucci wins and shoots. Man, he's got a really hard shot.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of face-off men in this league that win it at the stripe and can make it count. Baptiste had a couple last night. We know Nardell is a scorer. Weirman, the rookie, can score. Tucci had 4 points in a game.
Nolting, look at him run through checks. Got the pass off, scores! Kavanaugh! Okay, case in point. You were making it all day long. Asher Nolting has got to touch the ball because good things happen when it goes through him.
Let him cook. Let him deal. Let him recognize. The big body draws 3 shirts. And a lot like Aslanian, Kavanaugh so smooth off the ball. He catches Marcus Hudgens, ball watching and trying to support Nolting. And that's when he backdoors him. And you see the fan reaction. The Cannons are hanging around.
3rd goal of the year for Matt Kavanaugh. And it's a 3-0 run for Boston.
2 goals in 26 seconds. Talk about a team that can be in a drought or score in bunches. Jake, what do you have for us?
The message is simple from Coach Holman for the Cannons. Win these next 2 minutes. They have the momentum. They have the crowd on their side. And this deficit is just 2, looking to get that split this weekend.
All even at the faceoff, dots 7 apiece. Momentum with the Cannons right now. Campbell. Over to Kavanaugh.
What I like about the last couple of offensive sets, assisted goals. They were tops in the league a year ago, and they had the best offense. Distributing and sharing it.
Ooh, that collision, far pipe. Ward makes the save on Drenner's shot as Drenner and Scarpello collided. Sowers shoots too high.
That's deep range-wise for Michael Sowers.
Now Kelly coming out of the box. Trainer closely matching him. Skip to McCardle, nice catch. Good look inside. No angle though to take the shot. Nice job by Walker to save it to McCardle. Nice save by Kirst. Here it comes Trainer, the Bill Ricca Butcher.
It's stuck, the nickname stuck.
Named after Sam the Butcher from the Brady Bunch. It's a long story, folks. Trainer Bill Ricca's just about a half hour north of here.
Hometown boy.
Yeah.
Boston bred.
Got a lot of friends and family here today, as he did last night.
Played at UMass for Greg Cannella. As tough as it comes, Jeff Trainer.
Nolting again. Kavanaugh trying to make it 2 straight. Nolting to Kavanaugh. Goes wide, but possession still with Cannons. 12 to shoot, 25 to go.
Setting up a dodge here. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts with that inside roll next time.
Oh, he missed that pass completely. Oh, it was deflected. That's why. Shot clock winding down, though, so Nolting will just chuck it into the corner. 14 seconds. See what the Waterdogs can do here. Another one of those rookies getting a lot of playing time. Marcus Hudgens tracks it down, number 11 in white, from Ohio State. Clock winding down. And that'll do it.
Conference call, he said his defensive unit is bright and experienced, so let's see if those guys can get back on the right track here in the third quarter.
Appreciate you, Jake Marsh down on the sideline. Chris Cotter, Paul Carcaterra with you in the booth as we start the second half. Big run by the Cannons to end the first to make this a 2-point game. Holman. Finding Islani and running out of the box. Now Campbell will come on. Campbell looking to get back to the middle of the field. He's got a big-time shot from distance. Shoots it. Ward makes the save.
How many kick saves does this guy make?
Canadian,
like, week in and week out. It's an endless amount of kick saves. It's nutty.
KG veteran Dylan Ward in net, the Canadian. Making 9 saves already in this contest. Both goalies have been very good. Here's Sowers. Tangled up behind the net. Good pass to McCardle. Stoned by Kirst.
That's a fantastic stop by Colin Kurtz. How about the feed by Michael Sowers to get that through? Kurtz with his offhand.
He's got 7 saves. McCardle coming upfield. Looked like he wanted to do something one-handed. Instead, it's out to Connor Kelly. Great feed to Rawl, too, on the fast break. Holman, he's going to set up for 2-pointer and score! That gets his dad fired up as well on the sideline. We're all tied at 7.
Boom Squad starts with back-to-back stops by Colin Kirst. You want transition? You make a stop. The save corrals the ball, and it's off to the races. He tracks this bouncer, and then right away he spot feeds Ethan Rawl, who just uses his legs. We saw 2 bouncers during that series. Connor Kelly using the turf, and then Marcus Holman does it, but this time it counts. Dad is jacked. When you look at Marcus Holman as a shooter, what makes him so good is how unpredictable he is. From that same spot, I've seen him countless times go high to high. But his ability to get in a goalie's head and understand, okay, maybe they're looking for high heat. I'm gonna bounce this one. Jake?
Yeah, right now on the Cannon sideline, it's absolute mayhem. That was the first 2-point goal of the weekend by Boston. Last week, as you guys know, they set a record scoring 5 of them. And guys, I want to go on the record saying right now, this is the loudest I've ever heard a PLL game. This home crowd is fully behind the guys in red, white,
Marsh
and blue
is
right
on
now.
the record, so in case anybody wonders, this place is rocking.
They had 5 2s last week against the Archer. They actually shot better from deep range than in close. 35% from 2, 21% from 1. So they have to live with the 2-ball presence.
Sowers. The help comes in the form of Eppel. 2-point shot. Ricochets through as the shot clock winds down. And it'll be over to the Cannons.
Just a lot of this, though, right? We get underneath, and a lot of that shoving off, right? A lot. That's all right. I don't want to make a thing, but it is a thing, right?
I'm not complaining, but I am.
Coach Holman with a word or two for the officials. Kavanaugh saves it, but he's in trouble near the midfield line.
It's a good ground ball by 50 in blue because Marcus Hudgens was closing out on him.
It's like in the Kavanaugh DNA to pick up GBs. That was a good idea to curse, just didn't work. Waterdogs looking to clear quickly, but Jake Richard had a fall out of the back of his stick. He picks it up, no problem. Phillies missed their last 7 shots.
Go back to the bread and butter. 22 and 6.
Well, here's 22. Got a pick, now he's open. Got a short stick rookie on him there momentarily, and Eppel said, oh, I got it.
You see how he jukes, guys? it's unbelievable. He changes his speed so well.
Here's 6 working on Verdaro. So Verdaro was on Sowers, now he's on McCardle, but a turnover is going to get it right back to Philadelphia.
Verdaro saying, get me off the field. I'm supposed to score goals.
First this guy, then that guy. Tranner looking to attack Witcher. Here's Campbell. He shoots, kick save, and a beauty. Look at Witcher coming out of there with it, taking the abuse.
This game's getting physical.
Now both teams will sub out.
Jack Hanna's been quiet, 3 in white. He needs to make his presence felt. He has Jeff Trainer, the short stick on him. I thought he was terrific last week in Minneapolis. Looks like they're denying him the ball when he's adjacent.
Just 0 for 3 shooting on the day. Skip pass to the far side. Walker. That's skip 2. Hanna's going to get a look here, and it scores! Clark, you say it on one end, it works out on the other.
He opens up the offense, Cotter. There's so much attention on Sowers, McCardle, and Kelly. Don't forget about Jack Hanna, inserted into the lineup a week ago. He made his presence felt in Minneapolis. Boston sees Hanna hit the back of the net.
Well, the PLL is proud to announce the first ever Stars and Stripes Classic featuring Green Berets battling Navy SEALs on the Lacrosse field. It'll be on Labor Day prior to the 2 PLL quarterfinal playoff games at Gillette Stadium. PLLquarters.com is the website to claim your tickets for all 3 games, and tickets for all military personnel are free of charge. There's Coach Tierney. We didn't get to ask him who his favorite Patriot was, though. Who's your favorite Patriot being here in Boston here on July 4th weekend?
Oof, we talked about it. I think we agreed with who yours was.
I asked you to think about it, and you didn't give it much thought. I think
John Paul Jones.
Yeah, you love John Paul Jones. I have not yet begun to fight. I love that, too. You can't really argue with the naval officer, John Paul Jones. Although, I'm more partial to Dr. Joseph Warren myself, so I want you to look him up later. Good opportunity for Waterdogs. Goes wide in the net. Ryan Conrad, head and hands, knows he missed a great opportunity there.
So watch how Sowers changes his speeds. He's the fastest guy in the field to begin with, but the stutter and then the change. So it's hard enough to deal with him when you're defending his feet, because if you were to just get in a regular foot race with him, you're not going to beat him. But then he starts with the hesitations and the change of speeds. It makes him almost unguardable in space.
He's got that stutter step, almost like a NFL wide receiver.
Yes. Coming out of a break.
Yes. That's too tough of an angle for Holman. Decides to pull it out. Now he wants to get it to Nolting. The pass is high. This is going to be tough for Asher to save it. Does temporarily. Can't keep it in, though. What's going on, Jake?
Waterdogs obviously were on the wrong side of that 5-0 run. It was 7-2 and then 7-7. But guys, that Jack Hanna goal right before the timeout, it did wonders for the composure in their huddle. They went roughly a quarter's worth in time, 12 minutes without scoring a goal, but they're back out in front and they seem composed despite the crowd not being on their side tonight.
Lease on life, a little bit of momentum for themselves here in the third quarter, getting the lead back. And Sowers, look at the attention he draws. McCardle with a quick shot. That was hyper speed, Cart.
Yep. Suddenness from a passing perspective coming into tonight. Michael Sowers had 9 assists. 6 of them were to Kieran McCardle. He is looking for number 6. He wants to feed him because he knows if he gets him the rock, he will close the deal. That is perfect placement on a pass. But McCardle puts the stick right where he wants it because he knows where he catches, he can shoot and release from that same point.
Five points last week for McCardle, picking up right where he left off. 8th time this year it has been a Sowers to McCardle connection that ends up in the back of the net. And Hanna continues to get involved. And a shake of the head from his teammate Jake Richard, who's been around the block. He's like, man, that's impressive to watch.
Watch the placement. Hanna's owning his one-on-one matchups in the third quarter. I was calling for him because he was quiet. Well, he's answered the bell. Watch here how he stings that pipe. He's so smart. He knows he has Bubba Fairman where he wants him. If Fairman is on his back, he can't bring it back to his right hand. But he knows he's 2-3 steps away because of the explosive first step. Then it's time to change hands because he's in the clear.
Stathakis wins the face-off, but a turnover sends it back the other way.
One of these is going to fall for Cade Van Raphorst. He is begging to hit a 2-ball these past few weeks. He's got 13 attempts on the season. He hasn't hit one. He's had seasons in the PLL where he's been a big threat. Career high a couple years ago, 4 2-pointers. Game flow, left side of your screen. Jeez, Marcus Holman bounced off of him like he was nothing.
Conrad looking to find some space. Now the slide comes. Tried to get it into Brandow. Dangerously cursed. Picked it up right in his crease. Kavanaugh shoots and scores. Five-O's having a big night.
Enjoy your chips, enjoy your Matt Kavanaugh lefty rips. Belrica Butcher with the deal. This is a phenomenal pass by Jeff Traynor, who I thought was going to try to hit from 2. And he just throws a dime of a pass. And it's really hard to beat Dylan Ward high here because of him meeting the shooter so high on the crease. Kavanaugh understands that. You're not going to beat him in that big body up top. Go low.
Raw picks it up and avoids having it taken away from him.
He's fun to watch. Ethan Rawl led the PLL and caused turnovers as a rookie. Undrafted last year. We talk about draft steals this year with the TJ Malones,
right,
and the Tyler Carpenters. How about last year? Undrafted.
He's also having to log a lot of miles because Craig Schick's been banged up. So Rawl is the only true LSM they've got. Tomorrow, our Sunday Night Baseball matchup series finale between the Red Sox and Yankees. 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Coverage is going to begin at 6 with baseball tonight. Sunday Night Countdown, and at 5:30 it's MLB, the All-Star Selection Show as well. Red Sox-Yankees series going on this past week. Red Sox came from behind a couple of nights ago to win in the 9th inning, or extras rather. Tied in the 9th inning, winning in extras. Yankees were up big in their game today.
You don't like my Yankees?
They're not my favorite team, no. But I think you either love them or you hate them. Like, you're either a Yankee fan or you consider them the evil empire if you don't like them. Scarpella's going to track that one down, but it's knocked out of his stick beautifully. Here come the cannons.
Hear the crowd.
They like the effort from Aslanian.
This is a great check by Aslanian on Scarpello. Both of them lost their sticks.
Nolting.
Give him some space. Nolting's a player that doesn't need a pick all the time.
Now he's on Scarpello.
The pick worked there.
In front, finds Kirst, who scores.
He doesn't need a pick to win a matchup, but when he gets the pick and there's the switch, it's early slide time for the Waterdogs. And you're sliding from statistically the second best passer in the PLL coming into the weekend. The big body Nolting, the eyes, the vision, the awareness. Kirst just waiting his time on the backside. They love lacrosse in Boston. Their cannons down by just 1. It's a big one for Connor Kirst. His brother in the net, Colin. Mom, Michelle, home in New Jersey. Probably a nervous wreck watching these boys play.
Here's Hannah going to work. He shoots too high as Kirst went up to make the save.
Hannah's feeling it. This third quarter, he's separated himself from a dodging perspective.
Can't get anything on that shot.
There's Rawl.
Yeah, comes out of there with it. Bubba to Holman. Traynor inside. Couldn't get anything on the shot as it was deflected. Dangerously in front. Ward make the save. Now the outlet. To nobody in particular. Kavanaugh, the veteran, wants to settle things down a little bit for the Cannons. He'll work on Hudgens from the corner. Looking for a pick from Holman. Now Holman gets it back from X. Working on Richard. Save made by Ward. Just as the horn sounds to end the third quarter. Got us a ball game here, Karki.
Yes, we do. He's bringing the heat in the fourth quarter. Bill Tierney knows at 1-3, you can beat your conference rival. Brian Holman knows the stakes. Jack Hanna, he was electric in the third quarter.
Jeff Trainer as the Sam the Butcher character in the Cannon Brady Bunch bit. 10-9 as we start the fourth quarter. Boston trailing Philadelphia. Let's go under the helmet here, powered by Cash App.
Marcus, it's Kark in the booth. I see you doing something to your stick. What happened?
I usually get the shaft dented from a lot of follow-throughs on my shots, so I just wanted to change it up here. Nothing major.
What's the point of emphasis offensively specific to playing this Waterdogs defense?
Yeah, I think just being deliberate in our two-man games. Asher and I rushed that last one a little bit, so we got to work smarter, not harder. But 12 minutes left, let's get it.
What's the best way to beat Dylan Ward with a shot?
However you can get it to the net, that's the right way.
I appreciate it, Marcus. As we start this fourth quarter.
And when you hear him say any way to get it to the net, I think as a shooter who uses instincts like Holman, I think he goes into a contest with a guy like Ward knowing he has to play a cat and mouse game with him. He has to be a varied shooter, right? He can't just be shooting high to high. And you saw that high bouncer in the third quarter. That's why he's able to beat him.
Kavanaugh can't beat him low. Ward's all over that shot, gets it out to Hudgens. 13 saves now for Ward. Hudgens showing a little athletic ability there, keeping possession, getting it to Scarpello. McCardle to Walker. To Hanna out of the box. 3 and White's feeling it here in the second half.
That's good physical defense by Bubba Fairman here.
Swim dodge. Skip pass all the way to the far side. Good to get it there. McCarr shoots high, and Kirst makes the save. What's going on, Jake?
Yeah, so before the fourth quarter began, I was in the Cannons offensive huddle, and OC Jim Mitchell told his team, slow things down, and that will speed things up. He said his guys are playing with so much energy right now that sometimes it leads to silly mistakes like that one right there.
And you don't want to make one around 77 because he'll pick it up. Kirst with the save.
That is a fantastic stop by Colin Kirst. Had the placement he wanted, but if you're Zach Currier, you're staring down a netminder like Kirst. That's one he's going to want.
Here's Campbell. Up top to Kirst. Shoots and scores! His brother makes a great save on one end. And then the other brother buries it into the back of the net on the other.
Boston brotherly love. We saw that piece on the family connections with the Cannons. These two boys grew up in the backyard, one shooting on the other. Paid dividends for Colin in the net, staring down Currier. He wins that matchup. And then oldest brother Connor slings this into the top corner. This is gas. precision, and it couldn't happen at a better time to tie this one up at 10. That's 2 monster goals from Connor Kirst in the second half.
Connor couldn't even hang on to his stick at the end of that shot. As the two Kirst brothers both played their college lacrosse at Rutgers.
5 boys in the family, all lacrosse players.
You've got Cole, you've got CJ.
Yep.
Let's send it down to Jake.
All right, it's a new ball game thanks to this man right here, Connor Kirst. What'd you see there to tie things up?
Matt Campbell drew a lot of attention, found me wide open, was able to can the shot.
How's this crowd helping you guys down the stretch?
It's electric. You can hear it, right?
Thanks.
Juice.
Thanks, good luck.
Kavanaugh shooting. That's too far out to beat Ward.
Connor Kirst, as I mentioned, the oldest of the Kirst brothers. Then it's Colin and Cage. Cole plays for the Redwoods. Younger brother CJ will be a Tewaaraton front runner for Cornell next year and a no-brainer pro in years to come. And then they have the youngest Kirst brother who's headed to Rutgers. He's a goalie too, Caden Kirst.
Hannah working on the butcher. Gets it to McCardle. Eppel going to draw a call here, though.
He's not going to like this.
They're going to get Eppel for a hold. Let's listen in to Blaisdell.
Fouls on the Cannons. Number 52. Hold. 30 seconds.
Wow. Okay. Looked to me like McCardle just fell down.
Yeah, I think that's what Eppel will probably not be too thrilled about. I don't think that was an aggressive hold. I don't think even the stick was the reason he fell with that kind of authority, right? I mean, it didn't help him falling.
Tough call on Eppel.
That is.
Now at the 8:34 mark, man up for the Dogs. This is big.
41% heading into the evening.
Kelly shoots. Kirst stands tall.
He's grooving right now. Kirst is going to have to close the door for the Cannons to win. And good news if you're a Boston fan. He's playing his best ball of the night right now.
And his brother will run some clock with possession for the Cannons.
Credit Brian Holman, who took Connor Kirst and put him back to his natural offensive midfield spot. He's playing 2A and a lot of short stick D-midi for the Whips the last couple years. Coach Holman saw something in him to keep him as a regular.
Drenner shoots it wide, stays with Cannons, 14 to shoot now. As Nolting will put it in play. All tied at 10 apiece. 7.5 minutes to go. Nolting works it upfield to Holman. Back to Asher. Tough angle. Try to twist it in as the shot clock was winding down. Nothing doing.
You could twist that shot or you could go BTB. If you go BTB, you're going to increase your angle. I think a little bit better than the twister.
You can feel the tension ratcheting up here. The hometown crowd, they have been boisterous and opinionated. That's the way it should be here tonight. And their Cannons have battled back to tie this game at 10 apiece. Walker gets it behind the cage. Here's Han on the far side. Spins. He shoots wide. Still 15 to shoot for the Dogs. Brandow, the rook. In front. Sowers, one-handed. Kirst makes the save. Another fantastic outlet. Roll gets clipped from behind and no call. Holman tracks it down.
Combination of Kirst to Rawl on the outlets. They are college teammates at Rutgers. No call there. You're going to call the Eppel one. You got to call that one. I just feel like Rawl and Kirst are speaking the same language off of a Kirst save.
Great outlets. Here's Campbell. Gets it back to his right, draws a lot of attention. That's a very tough angle from Aslanian.
Imagine coaching in this game right now. A nervous wreck.
Kirst inside. Verdara scores! First lead of the night for the Boom Squad.
Verdara was streaky heading into the weekend. Shooting under 20%. Tonight he's 2 for 4. One of the rookies making noise in the PLL in 2024. Alexander the Great.
You're watching the PLL on ESPN, presented by Warrior Cannons, forging their first lead of the night, 11-10 with 5:27 left to go in this fourth quarter. Next Saturday, it's the 4th annual PLL All-Star Game from Louisville, Kentucky. You got the skills competition beginning at 1:15 Eastern on ESPN+. Then it's East versus West in the All-Star Game at 3 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Jeff Teat is our player spotlight presented by Champion. What moves you? And we saw Jeff Teat masterful last night in New York's win, and we will certainly see him next weekend in Louisville.
You think he's a lock?
It would be like asking if Jordan was a lock to play in the NBA All-Star Game every year. Yes, you can pretty much pencil him in every year the way he's playing.
I'll tell you
right
another
now.
great that reminds the lacrosse world of Jeff Teat. It's Wayne Gretzky. It's a slow motion. He plays in total control the entire time. A step ahead of the defense with his mind, and then the body reactions seamless.
Kavanaugh working on the rookie Hudgens. Hudgens gets the ball away from him. Now a scrum. Picked up by Ward. Nice job by 11 and White.
Hudgens is so big, Cotter. You can't get into the body with him. He will swallow you.
Marsh, what's going on with Sowers?
Yeah, I'm looking at Michael Sowers on the Dogs bench right now. His helmet's off. He's got a minor limp. He keeps holding what seems to be the lower body on the left side, but he's talking to the trainers. No helmet in sight, and obviously he has a hat trick tonight, so right now they don't have one of their best offensive weapons.
No question about it, the party starter on the offensive end in the final 4 minutes of this game. Kelly shoots from wide, misses.
The beauty of what the Atlas have and the beauty what the Waterdogs have is the 2-quarterback system, right? You have, for the Atlas, you have Schellenberger and Teat. The Waterdogs still have a guy who could operate the offense in McCardle.
Here he is. Pass was deflected as he tried to get it to Courier, who's inverted. Now Epple's on him. Courier tried to question mark a little bit, loses his footing. Now we get a flag. Another call against the Cannons.
I think it's going to be Epple again.
I believe you're
with
right.
A hold.
Blaisdell will give us the info.
Right now. Fouls on Cannons. Number 52. Hold. 30 seconds.
This time, I'm good with that call.
Yeah,
that's a hold.
Courier got all wrapped up in his stick.
See, right here, he hooks him in there. Could have even called a trip.
Stayed with him. Philly is 0 for 8 shooting in this quarter, though. Now they'll get another opportunity man up. Almost threw it away, but Walker went up to get it. There's McCardle near side. Got some guys who can shoot. They may not get an opportunity here. Now it's over and back. That's the proper call. So they'll lose possession to Cannons. 14th turnover on that over and back. 15 seconds left on the man up, but the Cannons should be able to burn this one. Yeah.
You can't even test Kirst. Get a shot off.
All even strength. Nolting setting a pick for Drenner. Jake Richard, the veteran short stick defender, was all over Nolting. Now it's a pull. Nolting gets underneath the defender. Loses the ball, though, as he gets contacted by 4 different players, and Nolting's still down. Now we get a whistle behind the play and a flag.
That's costly by the Waterdogs. They played good defense, and then it looked like he got a late whack.
Fouls on Phillies. Number 25. Flash. 1 minute.
Ball's going to go against Eli Goldbricht.
Look, they play good defense. They double and triple him. Yeah, that's
right there.
That's the right call.
Right on the knee.
Oh, then there's another one.
Right, yeah, he got 2 right in there.
That's the right call. I don't know why Goldbricht would do that. You played good defense. You made the stop. You hit the double. And now you give it back to him on a power play. We got a dandy in Boston, Cotter.
Welcome back to the PLL.
The New York Atlas.
Here are the Carolina Chaos.
The home of the Waterdogs.
The Cannons are back.
The Premier Lacrosse League is coming to California.
Homewood Field of the sacred cathedral of lacrosse.
This crowd is always great, as it is today. Packed house.
Here are the Utah Archers.
Utah showed out.
Cannons are going to be manned up here at the 2:46 mark for a minute, looking to extend this 4-0 run that they're in the middle of right now.
Cannons woke up offensively, lethargic in the first half at times. Matt Cavanaugh hit the back of the net. It was the passing from Nolting to Connor Kirst. More Connor Kirst hammering corners. Coming to life, the rookie Alexander Bardaro is 2 for 4 shooting. And now the power play unit. It was best in the league a season ago. You look at this unit right now, from a power play perspective, not at the level from a year ago, but you have the pieces with Holman shooting, Nolting passing. Don't forget about that guy right there, Matt Campbell, who leads the league in 2-pointers with 4.
Got Kirst in the middle. Holman here to the near side along with Nolting. They'll swap spots. Bounces it up to Drenner. Campbell on the far side, along with Aslani, who can also fire from distance.
That's where the pressure point is. When you have these 2 big lefties, Aslanian and Campbell, if they find a 2-on-1, one of those guys is getting their hands free.
Nolting bounces it. Nolting gets it back. Was looking inside, couldn't find anybody. Still looking to fire, finds Holman, who scores!
If you're gonna make this skip pass, this through pass, through the heart of a defense, you gotta throw it with authority. Second most assists in the league for a reason. Asher Nolting gets that defense kind of lulled to sleep a little bit, and the hesitation he has before he passes it allows for him not to get that ball knocked down. And when you give it to number 1 in blue on the porch, it's good night.
Four points for Holman on the night. Tucci, watch out. Ooh, try to get it to Holman. That would have ripped the roof off this place.
The issue here is you still don't have any Michael Sowers. He's not back on the field.
Yeah, that's big. Had an injury a moment ago, as Marsh told us about. Still being looked at by the trainers. Hannah. Twister there, just a little bit wide. It'll stay with Brandow. What's going on, Jake?
Yeah, still no helmet in sight for Mikey Sowers, but I was in the offensive huddle for Philadelphia about a minute ago, and they are confident they can get one. But now the thing is they need at least two with just more than a minute to go.
Get them in a hurry here. Will they retain possession? They just do.
I think the matchup here is Jack Hanna. I think you got to go to 3 in white. He has a short stick. Been your best dodging threat in the second half, and no Sowers.
That one is turned over. Thought it might have been deflected. It was not. As you look at Michael Sowers on the sideline, frustratingly nothing he can do.
Game clock will be 5 seconds. The Cannons take this shot clock all the way down to the end. 5 seconds is a lot. It only took Brody Merrill like 3.
And you. They got to press out here, though, if you're the Waterdogs, right? You can't rely on that. Which is exactly what they're doing. Look at the double here. Hudgens trying to track down Marcus. Gets it to Kirst.
Brian Holman has a timeout. You got to call it if you're in trouble here.
Kirst has an empty net. Opts not to shoot it. That's Kavanaugh.
Normally I say don't shoot.
He does, though. That's the hat trick for Matt Kavanaugh.
Normally I say don't shoot, but when you're up 2 on an empty net, it becomes a 2-possession game. So if you get up by 3, if Kirst shot that, you go up 13-10. And the Waterdogs are not going to win 2 faceoffs and score 2 goals in 15 seconds. This is the dagger. The empty net 2-pointer from Matt Kavanaugh, and Coach Holman and Jim Mitchell embrace, and they get a win at home. You talk about the Waterdogs and how close they are in their losses.
I know. Still.
Every one of them down to the wire.
Yep.
But you're 1-4.
1-4. And the horn sounds to the delight of the Cannons fans here in Boston.